Okay, guys. Okay, guys. Well, I want to show you very quickly all the things that I've actually bought, and I thought I include my little assistant here so you have a little more to look at. This is called a tubless system. This system allows you to run 2 different tire pressures in your tire. Basically, this red mantle and a very small tube can run up to 100 psi, which will then press basically against the mantle and allows you to run a very low pressure, 0 to 10 psi in the bigger chamber, which will allow you to get much more traction. The next thing I guess I did was buy heavier spring. Heavier spring meaning a stronger spring, which will, oh yeah, I cannot move this, which will, here, schwer. Which will, schwer, ne? Bigger spring. I tried to preload the current spring, which I believe is the stock spring, as much as possible, but it doesn't really work. Also, one of those preload rings I ordered because the previous owner didn't use the proper key. He just used a screwdriver and whacked the shit out of it, and it's pretty much broken. I bought a new rear tire. I haven't bought a new front tire yet, and I'm planning to basically change the wheels, change the tires, and install the tubless system sometime in the future. Now, the next thing I bought, which I believe might be quite interesting, is an aux brake, which they say is actually an auxiliary brake, which means that you have a left-hand rear brake. So this thing doesn't connect to the caliper. This thing will actually pull up the, or I want to say engage the foot brake. So this wire connects to the foot brake. Well, when I pull this little lever here, then the foot brake will actually engage the rear brake. So there's no splicing into the caliper, and which is probably what I read the cheapest option to have an easy functional rear brake that can be operated with 2 fingers. Now, they recommended on the website that you need to buy a new system, horn, indicators and lights for the KTM, because the aux brake will move the stock switches, and the stock switches actually don't work anymore. Now, unfortunately, I had already bought a new set of stock switches because the previous owner ripped all of this stuff out. Now, another thing I bought is a set of hand guards. I don't know how sturdy. They don't look really sturdy. They might fit to the bike. You know, the whole black and white thing, but I have no clue. Hand guards, cheapest ones probably that I could find again. Now, currently, there's a plastic bash plate on the KTM, and I want to try, you know, like log hopping and stuff, so I thought I should buy something a little more sturdy. The plastic one is not really great, so this is some hardcore bash plate. Ooh. The next thing I bought, which I mentioned before, the hand grips. I do hate the green hand grips that are on it, so I bought a set of pretty standard KTM hand grips. Yeah, they're black like the color. The bike doesn't have a license plate now. I'm not allowed to actually use the bike on the road, and I cannot register the bike as it is. What I need for that is basically a horn. I need to get the lights working properly, and I need to have blinkers. So I bought a set of blinkers, and I also bought a set of mirrors, which don't really look that exciting, I know, but I just need something to get to pass the vehicle inspection so that I can put a plate on it. Then I bought 2 sets of indicators, and I bought the indicator switches that I showed you previously, just because I want to get the bike, well, I want to have a plate on it eventually. At the moment, I'm probably gonna do these mods somewhat slowly, and I think the indicators will probably be the last part the last step, I want to say. Now these are actually the bar end kind of protection thingies that go on the hand grips. You can buy hand grips that are actually closed. I think the current ones are basically closed, but also almost kind of broken already because the bike, we have dropped the bike so often. And I wanted to go with the open option here because I may, you know, change the hand guards and do a proper bar, do a proper guard that goes into the bar, but I wanted to save the money. It's kind of like cheap version at the moment. Now another thing, the bike has kind of like a strap at the end, which I don't really like a lot. Like, you know, like you have this strap to hold on to the bike, to lug it around. Actually the bike is so light with like 105 kilo. I can actually drag the rear around, or I can actually turn the bike around on the side stand. And I wanted to have some proper metal guards because that kind of cloth strap thingy, not really nice. So yeah, I know, I went all out. I bought a lot of shit that I don't really need. This is another one. This is one of the, which is basically a new rear fender, because this one's a bit longer than the one I have at the moment, because I need space to mount the plate. And this plate is gonna be fairly horizontal. I hope that the vehicle inspection guys are not gonna bitch about it. Once again, the mods to get the bike street legal will be done last. I'm not going to bother with that at the moment. I'm going to do other stuff first. For example, the tubeless thing, the hand guards, the hand grips, the aux brake are going to come first. And I need to have more practice trying to wheelie. And once I'm actually more proficient, then I will probably get the bike street legal sometime in summer, or maybe even next year. And the last big thing, no, not the last big thing, that's a plate holder. That's actually just plastic, but that's a plate holder. And I bought a set of radiator guards. They are pretty heavy duty. As I showed you before, the radiator already looks pretty damaged. And I bought, obviously, this is radiator guard holder. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this pretty short infomercial of what's gonna happen to the bike in the future. And this is basically what happens if you can't ride your bike for 6 months and all you do is spend time in the evening in front of a computer thinking about things that you may actually update or change. This is where this whole crate of crap actually came from. So Leo, can I have that spring back? Danke. Oh, that thing is heavy. Wow, wish, oof. And see you guys on the next one.